Welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk about Hunt for Love, Season 1, Episode 5. Jen and Courtney are still by the pool chatting it up, and Jen tells Courtney that she's so glad she blew up Tim's spicy schmeck secrets. She goes, "I'm so glad you did that, but I want to know why you did that." And Courtney goes, "Oh yeah, it's because I saw you and Cole dancing all sexy at the club, and then I saw Tim, and I remembered your story, and I was like, oh my god, Tim is probably loving it, so that's why I told him. I thought he was gonna be happy and like laugh about it. I didn't know he was gonna be mad. Oops."
Probably loving this because remember when he bought the stripper and I thought it was funny. I didn't know he'd be so hurt and like run over and start a fight. I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I'm sure, Courtney. And Jen goes, "Oh no, don't worry about it. I'm so glad you did it. Do it again." Then Cole comes and he wants to join the conversation, but Courtney's like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the middle of another fight between them." So she's like, "Oh yeah, so I'm actually gonna leave. Oh my god, Cole, you're showing more cleavage than me. Wow."
Okay, I'm getting out of the pool. There's bees here. I'm gonna leave you guys. But Cole's style is like super feminine. I think he's showing more cleavage than me.
Oh my god. That was so funny because he does like his very low cut shirts. Then Cole and Jen talk about the other night and he's like, "I can't believe you pushed me away and you flirted with Rob all night. I bet you went home with him that night, didn't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did, but it was your fault. You shushed me and you embarrassed me in front of the whole entire group."
That really hurt at you. You shush me and just say it out loud. You say it so everybody heard.
And she tells him to never disrespect her like that ever again. They've only known each other for 3 days and he tells her to shut up and walk away? She's a grown-ass woman. He better not do it again.
And not allow him to disrespect me like that. But anyway, he came to visit me, so I gave him a chance. I want to hear whatever he has to say.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I was just trying to help you and defend you. I care about you. You're the only one for me. You're the only one I'm focusing on at this retreat." And is it a retreat? This vacation.
And feel absolutely horrible. That would have hurt you. I hope you see that, and I won't do that again.
And because he came begging like a little puppy dog, she finds it endearing and she's like, "Okay, well, I might give you another chance."
Un beso.
Time for another group activity. It's a compatibility workshop to see who's going to be your best match based on your preferences. So the dating coaches are going to ask the group a question and everyone has whiteboards to write their answers on.
It's about having to figure out what your preferences are and then see who matches with you, who you think right now you're most compatible with.
So the first question is, what do you prefer? Sex a couple times a week or sex a couple times a day? Everybody writes down their answers, and Tim goes, "We already know what Colt's answer is gonna be."
We know what Cole's is gonna be.
Yeah, do you guys remember when Colt told Vanessa that he wanted to have schmecks like 10 times a day? Like, who has time for that? Go get a job. You have too much time on your hands. Colt reveals his answers, and surprise, surprise, he would like to do it hourly, once an hour.
Okay,
All right,
let's see what you got. Okay.
Hourly, oh my lord.
All right.
What the fork? No, thank you. Courtney sees this and she's like, "Yeah, I was right. Colt definitely gives like freaky IT sex vibes because like I think IT guys see a lot of freaky stuff online. So can anybody else who literally has access to the internet."
I think men that work in IT, they're probably exposed to a lot of weird on the internet.
Usman shows his answer and it says once a week. And oh my god, I busted out laughing when Courtney was like, "Is it because he's only dating women in their 60s?
Usman only wanting sex once a week? Is this because he's used to being with women in their 60s?
Ultimately, if Courtney had to choose between the two, she would rather pick the once a week guy because she would rather have to beg for sex than to beg a guy to leave her alone from constantly wanting sex. Which would you choose? And you guys already know my answer. Next question. Which would you prefer? To have kids or not to have kids? And once again, I'm sure y'all know my answer. Geez, you guys really know a lot about me. Courtney wants kids, Colt wants kids, Chantal wants kids. Tim says no kids and no small dogs. And at first I was like, oh, is it because small dogs are kind of like small babies? Like they yap, they cry a lot, and they're like very needy. But no, he said 2 of his exes replaced him with small dogs. They each got a small dog and didn't need Tim anymore.
We took breaks, and both of them went out and got a small dog to replace me.
Next question. Would you prefer a partner who values money or values love? Courtney says money. Usman says money, so they agree there.
They say love is sweet, but when there is money, the love is sweeter.
And Colt says love. Courtney's reasoning is she already has so much love to give, so she kind of wants to date a guy who has a lot of money. And Colt sees this and he's like, but what if the money goes away? And Courtney says, what if the love goes away? And Colt says, but love never goes away.
Love won't go away,
It
though.
does.
I feel like love is something that's internal. Money is just something that's temporary.
What? Who the hell said that? Like, that is absolutely not true. Love can definitely die. Now, Usman jumps in and says, yeah, but more relationships break up because there's no money. Isn't the number one reason for divorce money?
But that thing has been answered already. How many relationships break up because of the money is not there any longer?
As I was watching Usman and Colt go back and forth, I was like, oh, now I see what's happening. They're both competing to try to be more compatible with Courtney because they're both going for Courtney. And someone in my comment section, I laughed my ass off when they said, wait, let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Okay, someone said, I would be so depressed if the guys fighting over me were Usman and Colt. At this point, Usman's feeling a little bit more confident because he already has 2 matching answers with Courtney, whereas Colt has none. Plus, he's got no money.
I think Colt, he lives in his car. He has no money. So, +1 for Courtney and Usman.
And Colt agrees. He's like, yeah, I don't have any money. Oh, God.
And I don't have a lot of money. I feel like right now I lost again.
By the way, there's so much discourse around women wanting a man with money and how that automatically labels them as a gold digger, and I just could not disagree more. I mean, of course, there are gold diggers who only use men for money, but a lot of the times when women say that they want a guy with money, they're talking about financial security. We are talking about security. Tiffany and Carlo go on their second date and they have to rub clay mud all over each other's bodies. And this is giving Batch in Paradise. I don't know if anybody else watches Bachelor in Paradise, but they always go on a date like this.
Going to put it all body. You put it him and him put it your.
When Tiffany talked about still being insecure, even though she lost over 100 pounds, that was so real.
A mud bath is just not my first choice on a date because, like, I feel a little naked. I feel a little bit insecure, even though now I've lost over 100 pounds.
And I was so impressed by how she just rolled with it. She was such a good sport. She didn't show any discomfort. I mean, I feel like Tiffany is easily one of the most likable cast members on 90 Day.
It's not so bad. How's it feel?
It actually feels really nice.
Then they have a serious chat about what they're looking for in a relationship, and I just couldn't take them seriously when they had mud all over their faces. They talk about wanting a best friend and a life partner, and she tells him, you know, I've been focusing on work and my home, my business, and my 2 kids. Surprise, I have 2 kids, a 14-year-old and a 5-year-old. And he's like, oh, okay.
I do want to tell you, I have been married in the past. I've been married once. I do have 2 kids. One is 14 and one is 5.
I think Tiffany did a great job, okay? She just told him flat out that I have 2 kids, 15, 4. How do you feel about that? Whereas Huda from Love Island, I don't know if anybody's watching Love Island, which I'm covering, by the way, and I know some people are so sick of the Love Island content. Just be patient. Love Island is only going to run for another 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll be back to TLC content. But anyway, Huda from Love Island could probably learn a thing or 2 from Tiffany about how to tell a romantic partner that you have children. Anyway, Tiffany can sense a little shift in his energy after she told him the news. And so she asks him, how do you feel about it? Like, are you okay with it? And he's like, are you okay, like, if I tell you the God's honest truth? And she's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And he goes, well, I never dated anybody with kids and I didn't plan on it. He tells her that he's always envisioned finding a woman who didn't have any kids, who wasn't married and divorced before, and they were going to get married and have kids for the first time together.
I'm going to meet someone and we're going to have a child together. And like, that's going to be it. We're going to be together forever and all that stuff. So.
And again, Tiffany handles this so well. She's like, okay, well, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed, but you know, that's totally your right, your prerogative. But I still am open to getting to know you. So I hope you feel the same, but ultimately the ball is in your court.
I hope that it's something you're willing to explore so that we can continue to getting to know each other. But that's up to you.
And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to try to be open-minded. And she's like, okay.
Trying to be open-minded and put like a expectation on what I'm looking for. But obviously this was like a special time, like with a special woman.
You know, the answer just isn't really convincing to me. However, I'm really glad that Tiffany was like, okay, I'm just going to put our connection a little bit on the back burner and start exploring other connections, aka Rocky.
I am definitely not going to prioritize him. I'm still keeping my options open and getting to know other people.
Then we see Jen and Rob hang out and she tells him that Cole came to apologize to her for how he behaved the other night. So she's going to give him another chance. And he looks so disappointed, wah, but he keeps his cool. He's like, oh, okay.
It is important to take the time to know people.
Yeah. Okay.
Jen tells him that she initially wrote off Rob for being an F-boy in the beginning, but he's kind of starting to grow on her, and the more she gets to know him, he's not so bad. But Jen, you just wait, okay? You keep getting to know him and then you'll see. Yeah.
At the beginning, I was like, he's a player boy. And now you're really growing up with me.
Well, he's very happy to hear that. And he tells her, you know, I'm pretty reserved right now because I was really hurt in my last relationship. And she was like, you were married. And he's like, I'm still married, but just legally. And she goes, oh, so you're a married man. And he's like, yeah, but our relationship is over. We're in the process of a divorce. It's just the legal stuff. We are legally married. That's all. And all she can hear is, oh, but you're still married.
I mean, you're a married man.
I am a married man, legally.
Okay, well.
Jen does not like the fact that he is still a married man. So she's going to lean more towards Cole since he's not really attached to anybody. Well, it's time for another activity. They're split up into teams of 2 decided by the dating coach, and the first game is Pop the Balloon. You and your partner have to pop the balloon using any parts of your bodies except for your arms or your hands. Tim is partnered with Elise, and this pairing is so hilarious. I think he was feeling her because she's funny, she's energetic, and she just likes to have a good time. I mean, she was banging her ass against my balls and I'm here for it. You know, I can't complain.
I don't know, maybe it's that she liked banging her ass against my balls. I mean, whatever it is, she's got it and I'm 100% here for it.
Look at him with that fuzzy bucket hat. He honestly reminded me of my grandmother. His posture, the hat, his purple sweatpants. That was my grandma's outfit when she'd be outside working in her garden. You know, he looks about her height too, but the posture especially. Like, I was just like, oh my God, that's Grandma Poe. I miss my grandma. The next game they have to do is Suck and Blow, and they have brand new teams and they have to like move the card around with their mouths. You guys probably know that game.
You got it. Let's go.
Why did the cameras pan in on Tim and Cole? Yeah, the editors are messy. The very last game is where you move a bucket of water. You sit in a line and each person has a bucket, and the first person has the bucket of water, and then you have to pour it backwards to the person behind you, and so on and so forth. And whichever team has the most water left in their very last bucket wins. So from the first team, the very last guy at the end, he practically spilled almost all of his water on the ground. Then the second team goes, and Elise was the very last person, and she actually got all of her water in that last bucket.
Yeah. She got it?
I did. Yeah.
And now it's Rob's team's turn, and he wants to win so badly so that he can take Jen out on a date, and Jen is sitting behind him. So he takes his bucket of water and pours it so carefully behind him, and he gets all the water into Jen's bucket. And then Jen is very competitive, so she very carefully pours the bucket of water behind her, and then so on and so forth. And it gets to Colt, who is the very last person. What do you think happened? Yeah, he poured all of his bucket of water onto himself. He ruined it for everyone. They were so close to winning. Usman's watching this and he's like, oh my God, what a loser. Like, he can't do anything right.
Bro, no disrespect. He just can't get it right.
Ultimately, there's a tie between Team 2 with Elise and Tim and Team 3 with Colt, Chantal, Jen, and Rob. So the tiebreaker ends up being a kissing challenge. So 2 people from each team have to go and they have to compete. And I don't know who the judge is. Was it the dating coach? I don't know. So it's Chantal and Jen versus Elise and another normie girl. I can't remember what her name was. Sorry. And oh my God, Jen and Chantal were going in. They were going in and it was like so hot and spicy and so sensual, and like I felt like I was watching something I wasn't supposed to. Jen definitely performed. She gave everybody a performance, and Tim, Rob, and was it Usman? I don't know. 3 of the guys were so enamored that they sat their asses right down and just watched them.
Damn! What?
And Chantal was enjoying herself. Oh my God. And Jen, y'all, they were licking each other from head to toe slowly. They were on top of each other. It was like beautiful, actually. I was like, oh my God.
That was probably the most wild makeout session I've ever had.
And then we see the other girls, Elise and the normie, and they are struggling. I don't know how you struggle making out, but they fell onto the floor. They were tumbling around. They were trying to find the right position. It was a hot mess.
No! Let's go!
So Jen and Chantal end up winning. So each member of the entire team gets to pick someone to take out on a date. Jen has to choose between Rob and Cole. Who do you think she's going to pick? The guy who dicked her down good all night? Or the guy who pissed her off so much that she ignored him for 12 hours? She chose Cole. Yeah.
I just go.
How does Rob feel about
Damn, I don't know how I would feel if I were Rob. Now, I was really surprised by Chantal's choice. She picked Rob. Yeah, I think she had a little crush on him.
Rob is one of the hottest guys here, so why not ask him out and see where it goes? I'm gonna liquor him up and see what happens.
Now, who is Elise gonna pick, Tim or somebody else? Tim is really hoping that she's going to pick him because he really enjoyed that time. She banged her ass against his balls and he would like to experience a little bit more. But she chose Tiffany's guy, Rocky. And Tim is so sad.
I'm just bummed, because I really like her and I thought we were a good match.
Jen and Cole go on their date and Cole's like, I'm really happy you chose me. And she's like, me too.
You scare me.
He tells her he's so glad she ended up choosing Chantal to kiss instead of Rob because he would not have wanted to watch her make out with Rob. And she's like, oh no, I haven't kissed him yet. And I haven't kissed you yet. I haven't kissed any of the guys yet.
Like, it's not a luxury or jet, like, I haven't actually kissed like any of you both yet.
The lie detector determined that was definitely a big fat lie. Well, Cole is happy to hear that she hasn't kissed Rob yet. And then the editors cut to the scene of Jen and Rob making out and banging. And the episode ends right there. Oh God. In the next episode, the cast members find out that Jen and Rob banged, and I think they're going to confront them. So that should be really good and juicy. I feel like overall this episode was kind of boring, a lot of filler. What did you guys think? If I had to rate this episode, I would give it like a 5 out of 10. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just meh. So hopefully next episode's going to be a good one. Well, that's it for this recap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.
It's a recap.